What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a full installation guide of LuminOS. This is going to be how you can reset to LuminOS V2 without a USB, with a USB, dual boot, however you would like to reset. We're going to go through it today. Now, before I get into that, if you want to check out the app, which will be included in this OS, you can head to the link in the description or go to lumin.lol/app. This has more information on the app, as well as the installation and premium purchase options, all that good stuff. Also, we have a new 1v1 map that we just dropped with a contest currently going on in our Discord where you can win money as well as free tweaks if you submit a clip and you have the best clip. It's a clip contest and we'll be selecting the winners at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that if you'd like to join it, look at the Discord. Anyway, that's enough. Let's get right into the video. Alright, so first things first, if you want to head to the link in the description, you can find the different downloads for the OS. We have full and we have basic. So the difference is, with full, you're going to have Defender, Store, Windows Update, and Xbox completely removed, as well as not compatible for laptops. So if Defender, Store, Windows Update, or Xbox is something that you would ever need, do not install full, because it will be completely impossible to get these back as it is stripped at the component level. And so a lot of people will try to install Microsoft Store after installing this and it doesn't work properly. So it's much better to go with basic and just remove those yourself if you would like. And definitely go with basic if you have a laptop. And then the next thing is going to be the Lumin ISO Flash installer, which we can download that from the description or directly off the page. Now, before I get into the Flash tool, I want to mention one quick thing about dual booting, as well as just staying safe when you're resetting disks. So if we right click on the start menu and we go to disk management, this is how we would create a dual boot. Say I wanted to take my D drive and split it up into two different windows. If I already did have a Windows on it, for example, but I don't, you would go ahead and click shrink volume on it, just like this, and then this is going to be the amount of space. I would make sure that you at least have 100 gigs or more, otherwise you're probably not going to be able to do much on the Windows. You know, you want to make sure you have enough space for games or whatever you're doing. Then you would just go ahead and click shrink, and now you can see this drive has been split up into two. And then whenever you go through the Windows setup, instead of deleting partitions, you would simply just select the unallocated partition you created, which will be later on in the video. You can see in the Windows setup. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that back. And the last thing I want to say is just make sure you know what disk you're resetting. For example, if I'm trying to reset my C drive, obviously I would know that it is disk 0 and it is 1,430 gigabytes. So I would just delete this partition only. And definitely take note of that so you make sure that you're not resetting the wrong Windows. If you do just have one drive and you're trying to fully wipe your Windows, don't worry about it, because you'll just be able to delete every partition and click next when the step comes up. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into the ISO Flash tool. So after you run the installer for the ISO Flash, it's going to look something like this once it's installed. And basically, you could pick between USB or partition. Now, the boot into a drive now option, this is just going to make it so if you already have a partition or a USB that's created, but you can't boot onto it, like you already restarted, you missed the boot, whatever, you can come here again and you can just click on this and then boot onto it. Anyway, I'm going to be showing you guys the partition one first. If you are on a USB, you can go ahead and skip to this time on the screen and it's going to show how to do it now. And also quickly before I mention that, if you are going to be using the ISO Flash tool and you're going to be using Rufus instead, make sure that you don't select any installation options like create an account for me or any of that, as it could mess with the Windows setup. Anyway, let's get right into the partition. So first, you're going to hit select ISO and you're going to select your Lumin ISO, and then you click next. This is going to be showing your disk where it can be created. As long as you have something that shows up here, then you are good to go. If you don't have something that shows up here, it likely means that your disk isn't shrinkable, and you can always open up a support ticket where we can help you and let you know if it is or isn't going to work in Discord. And if you ever have any problems, you can go to our Discord and we will help you install LuminOS. But I'm going to be clicking the old coding drive. That's one that we obviously looked at that I shrunk before, and click next. This step is where you can add any files that you want, like drivers. I recommend if you're on Wi-Fi that you definitely add the Wi-Fi driver or anything else. And there's a little tutorial up here for installing motherboard drivers. If you're going to do any more files, like things that you might need, you can also add them here, and they will go on the USB after it's flashed. I'm going to go ahead and click next, and then you can just click I understand and create and flash. What this is going to do is it's going to create the partition, and if I go back to disk management temporarily, you can see it's going to have shrunken my drive and create this Lumin PE, and that's where it's going to make all the files and then create a boot for. So as you can see, it's copying them now. It says it's going to take about 40 seconds. I'll speed it up for a second, and then we'll look back and see what we need to do next. Alright, so now that that's all done, we get this screen and we simply can just click restart now, and that's going to boot us into the setup. Now, I want you to skip to this time on the screen, that way you don't get caught in the USB area of the video, and you can go through with the Windows setup. Alright, now if you were doing the USB method, this is the part for you. So you're just going to click on Flash a verified USB, and from here you'll have a drop down to pick all of your USBs. Make sure you pick the right one, as it will wipe it. I know I want to do this Lumin USB one because that's my actual USB, while this is one of my drives that's external. But I can click this and click next and then select the ISO. And then for this next part, this is where you can add any drivers or any files you may need to the USB. I recommend doing like Wi-Fi and whatever other drivers you need. And any files that you add will be in a folder called user files on the USB after it's flashed. I'm not going to be adding any though. I'm going to click next, and then we can click I understand and start flash, and this is going to start the process. It will give you a timer as it's going, so you can see how long it's going to take once we get to that copy to USB stage. And I'm going to speed it up while you guys wait, so we don't have to wait too long, and then we can go ahead and get on with the installation process. Alright, so now that the USB is done, basically just go ahead and click restart. That's going to boot you into the Windows setup. We'll get to that step next. Alright, so from here, this is the LuminOS setup, and basically you're just going to click next. Here you're going to have the terms for whatever version you're installing, and it's just going to tell you like all the read before, and you can just click I accept and next. And then we have the partitions here. Now this is where you need to be a little bit careful. If you already have a drive, it's going to show up as like drive 1 or something here. I'll throw up a screenshot on the screen now so you can see. But basically, you want to delete the drive you're trying to delete, the partitions, until it says unallocated space. So if you're trying to wipe drive 1, you would delete drive 1 until it says unallocated space. And then from there you can click next. Now if you're doing a dual boot, like we mentioned in the beginning of the video, then you can always just click on the unallocated one that you've already made and click next. And then from there, you're pretty much just going to wait until the window sets up. Alright, now that we're through that, I'm going to be going through the LuminOS setup very quickly. So the first things first are your browsers. You can either install Chrome or Brave. And if you don't like these browsers, you can always install another one afterwards and then remove Chrome or Brave after you've done that. And then next we have the network driver. So we have a tutorial.txt here in case you need help, but I'm just going to go over it very quickly. If you have a Realtek one, which how to check is if you go to your device manager, you can click on network adapters and drop it down like this, and then you will have a Ethernet controller. You can see mine says Intel. If you have like Realtek Ethernet controller or something like that, you're going to run the realtek.exe. Now, if you do have an Intel like me, what you're going to do is you're going to right click on it and go to Properties. You're going to go to Drivers. You're going to go to Update Driver, browse my computer for local files, and then you're going to take the same file path of the one from the setup, and then just do it like that. Next, and then it will install the driver if you need it. If it says you're all good, then you're all good. You can leave it like that. And you probably want to select the Intel folder instead, but it shouldn't matter anyway. And then after that, you have GPU driver, which for the NVIDIA driver, we just have a link. Now later on in the next OS updates, this might be an actual just driver exe that you can run, but you basically just follow the steps and it's a very simple driver installation. You can install it from there. And then after you have installed your GPU driver, your network driver, and any other drivers that you may have needed along the way, like chipset, whatever, you can go ahead and run the Lumin app installer. And this is very simple. It's just going to take you through like this. You click next, I accept, next, and download. And that's it. It'll open up the Lumin app. And from there, you can do optimizations to the OS. I highly recommend going to cleanup and going through the services and at least disabling those, because otherwise your processes may remain high. But anyway, that is it. If you want to check out more info on the app, you can watch my other video on it. Go to the website, watch Bill's video, or go to the Discord. We have so much info on the app. But yes, if you guys need help or if you have any questions, always go through the Discord. We have support there, 24/7 live support, ticket system, community help, and all that good stuff. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you want to check out any of the other stuff like the Lumin app, the 1v1 map, all of that. I'll have it linked in the description. But that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoy LuminOS V2. I'll be coming out with another video soon, maybe about its benchmarks and whatnot versus other OSs, so stay tuned for that. But that's it, and I hope you guys enjoy. Peace out.